So we had a, I think it's a PowerBass XL. The magnet is actually pretty wide, but it's kind of shallow. And so I was going to make a bolt-on top assembly, but the guy really couldn't get really great accurate measurements, so I went ahead and had him send in the top assembly. And one of the things that we got to do anyway is move the bolt hole pattern. See how it's in the little spokes? So we need to move that pattern into the windows. So in one way that I can do that, first generation, is to do it to another frame. Now then I can use that frame to transfer it back, because all I want to do is move the pattern. But I'm actually, what I did was I let the guy know. I say, hey, I got 3 different colors. I think it was purple, red, and white. This is from a Wolfram. And he's like, I'll take the white. So that works out great. One of the cool things that I recovered from the older one was this aluminum. It's 2 pieces. One is the clamp ring, and then one is the spacer ring, but it's actually real aluminum. So this is a good thing though, because I can contact my new contact, which is great over in China. They know a lot of stuff and they know a lot of people. And so I just tell them the brand, send them the measurements, and then they can make these for us as well. So, but that's part of what I was saying in the last video about some of the stuff for blackjack. Once I have money, like real money, I can order the right shit and then sell it to you guys for cheap. So, and we're going to do that with the Replicant project as well. I'm going to be selling R motors first, again, which is just an alternative to Lord of Bass. A 4th stack, not that that makes it any more powerful, but it's just kind of a signature thing that we want to do, and we want to make sure we have really long coils and everything like that. So what I wanted to show you with this video though is I'm going to transfer the bolt hole circle, the bolt hole pattern, so that on the Wolfram frame, these holes right here will be in the window. And so once they're in the window, then you can put a little tool in there and undo it. So basically I just eyeballed this one, and what I did was I looked for a little fracture hair. There's one. I don't know if you can see it right there. You can barely see the hole, and then I clamp it down. I'm going to go ahead and drill all the holes, and that's it. That's called freestyling. And it's not precision, but it's good enough, and that's what we're going to do for this one. There was another project, since I got this video on, I might as well show you. I had a guy, David White, send in some T.C.O.Z stuff that I'll be doing with an LMS coil. Here is his Eclipse motor, which is of course is just the TC9 Plus, dual 1-inch slugs. A version of this of course was used for the Sunfire, which is the TC11. This one has the top mounting, which I'm going to recover, so that way it's, oh here it is, so that way it's removable. So T.C.O.Z just used that style, and for something this small, this magnet this small, that's fine. It doesn't need a ton of stuff, and I'm just going to do that. The other thing, he's going to use it for home theater, so I actually talked him into doing it as a 12. It doesn't cost me any more, so I'm just going to do it as a 12. And then this is some sort of decorative heat sink. It doesn't really do anything. So, but I'm going to go ahead and glue it back on there. But I thought it was great. It shows how they just epoxied it in. What I think this is the first adventure for Eclipse when they went away from T.C.O.Z, because this looks exactly like T.C.O.Z work, but it's not T.C.O.Z. Does that make sense? So it's a little too polished, it's a little too nice, and that indicates that they just went to China and had it copied. And then until they get a designer to come in and start designing, but as you see, the designs started getting more and more Chinesium, because they make better margins and they start pimping out the brand, and so they kind of shit. So they turn into shit. But that's what gets you better margins. So the third project I'm be doing is this is a Boston G5. This is actually my preferred Boston product. I like this better than the SPG, the oval one. This is again another good standard motor. It's basically the same as the TC9 Plus that we saw over there. And the guy had it, he lives down there in Tucson, and he had it refoamed one time, and it lasted like 4 minutes. And then he had it refoamed again, and it didn't last very long, and the surround that they used was too small. And so I suggested a redesign, which is where, because one of the problems that you see already with it is all this plastic in here. I don't want to work with that fucking plastic. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and just cut everything off, remove the frame, and then as we were talking, he has this actually in a Chevy console box, and it's a little oversized for this one. It ends up being about 1.2, 1.1 ported, and you can actually fit a 12 in that with this motor in a box that small. And so I recommended we just open up the opening and then turn it into a 12. Again, it doesn't cost me anymore, and so I'm not going to charge him anymore. So he already paid, I think I charged him like $150 for it, and it's going to come with a 3-year warranty, and it's going to be badass. And so, but I wanted to show you those 3 projects. Other than that, oh, let me do a quick shop update. Let's see. Some of the 12s we're building. I'm waiting on the machine shop for more steel for the 4x4 motors. Otherwise, these are the last ones I have. This is Denny's top assembly for his kicker, which I thought I had. I thought this was the adapter plate. This is not the adapter plates. So that means the adapter plates are somewhere around here. I just got to find them. But it's not ready. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like doing videos about, what is it? Project status updates, because they're not as linear as you might think. This is the 4 Cylons. Somebody's doing that. He paid for 2, but I'm going to go ahead and build all 4 out, and then he's going to pay for the other 2 when they're completed. These are the quad stacks. They were a triple stack. We went ahead and upgraded them to a quad stack for the weight that he's doing, and then these last 3 are for somebody else, and we're doing the 8-layer coils in those. So it just what's the word? I'm not able to predict the future, and right now I'm really behind on stuff, and it's hard for me to give you guys bad news, and so that's why I typically don't like to do updates, and that's also why nobody really does updates. Like if you ever do anything with Dave at PSI, David Moore, he won't update you at all. It's like when it's ready, it's ready, and he's real strict about that. And I already have people already have like an attitude with me about, oh, Patrick's a dick and this and that. And the problem is that I've been a nice guy, and then when I'm not nice anymore, not that I'm being mean, but when I'm not nice anymore, then people get upset and they're frail, and then it's like, oh, he's not on his meds and all that, and it's a bunch of lame shit. So the real thing is that I don't have any help, I don't have any money, and I'm trying to do this on a budget, but I still got to pay bills, so I still take the money in. See how that works? And so it's basically like a little loan until I can finish your product and fulfill the order. So, but again, I'm working on that, and I do want to share the process with you of my growth and ascent into the heavens. And but this is what it looks like. It's really dirty and it's lonely and it's tiring. For like a good week, my back was not wanting to cooperate, and even when I was on opiates, it didn't want to cooperate. So that gets really frustrating. And then on top of that, I have daily orders, and I have people that just pop in and show up, which is one of the reasons why I don't open the gates anymore. And even on the Google page, it says like I'm only open on the weekends, and then I don't get a lot of people then because they think I'm closed all the time, which is actually fine. I'm not worried about local orders. It's the to-go orders. It's the mail order guys that get ants in the pants, and you know, they don't have their woofer, and so all they think about every day is bass. And so then I get they go, just checking in. Is the woofer done yet? And I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, it'll be not done for like a month, and then all of a sudden, like overnight, it'll be done. And then people get mad and they go, well, why didn't you just do it? It's like, because I had like 20 dudes in front of you. Like, I gotta suck all the dicks. I gotta suck 20 dicks before I get to your dick. All right, so just give me a minute. And sometimes I gotta take a swig of Pepsi in the middle. I had a girlfriend that would swallow, but she had to have a Pepsi on the nightstand, which was great. I was like, well, I'll buy all the Pepsi you want. But anyways, I had an interesting conversation with a guy that's basically like in this one deal. He's my boss, and he's gay, and he was talking about China, and he was saying that how did we come up? Oh, he was billing me. So he was billing me, and he had to verify pricing with the factory, and they know he's gay, and they don't want him to give me special pricing because I'm a guy, because they think that it's like inappropriate. They don't, and I said, is it because you're gay? And he goes, sort of. He goes, in Chinese culture, you got to understand, they don't really care that you're gay. They just want money. That's what they care about. What they really care about is tough. So the example that he gave me, I thought was amazing. He's like, they don't really care if you're gay, but like if you are, like, you better be the hardest working gay they know. Like, if there's dicks to suck, you're not just going to be like picky, like, I don't like this dick and this thing. You're going to suck all the dicks, and you're going to suck them really well, and you're going to suck like 20 of them in a row. And so it's like that's what they care about, is being strong, and, you know, like, it's not quite masculine, but it's more tough. And so the problem that they get is when in Asian culture, sometimes they call them sissy boys and things like that. It's not necessarily that they're sissies. It's just that that character tends to be lazy, because now they're like, you know, and they're, again, this is their culture, this is their words, not mine. They're like a woman where they could just sit around and suck dicks all day. So, but I just thought it was entertaining, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Here's the 24s, by the way, that are going into the club. I doubt we're even going to make, I think we're going to just make 2, and then I think what they're going to do is resell the other 2 to another club, because I think just 2 is going to be plenty for them. Each one's 2 ohm, and so they also have this huge, what is it called? I forget the name of the brand. It's not popular for me because I don't really dig into PA. It's like PowerBass or something like that, but it's not PowerBass. It's called something else. So it's PowerSoft. That's what it's called. They make a 20,000 watt fucking Class D amplifier, and each channel is 2 ohm stable, and so that's what they want to hook it up to. And so each woofer gets 5,000 watts. It also takes, like, I think 3-phase input, and it's like really, really heavy duty. Like, I'm surprised the thing doesn't blow up. It's basically a audio arc welder. It's really amazing. So I'll put a link to it in the, see if they sell them on Amazon. I doubt it, but yeah, it's called PowerSoft, and they're working with M-Force, which I think is actually technically another company, but they sort of merge together and then sell their product together, because it's like, if you're going to buy a 20,000 watt fucking amplifier, you need something that's really going to soak up the juice. And that's what that M-Force woofer is. It's a linear motor, but it moves a huge diaphragm that's like, I think 32 inch or something like that, or even 48 inch. It's really big. It's kind of goofy, but, you know, whatever, it works. It's just really, really expensive. So we're doing these for basically 1,000 each, and then they can go sell them for like 2 or 3 grand, which is still cheaper than the jackhammer. The jackhammer goes for, was it 10? I think you can buy one for 10, and it only handles like 4K. This is the standard Rockford motor, which is good for like 5K, but you want to have a diaphragm big enough to kind of handle that kind of load. When it's like a 13 like this, it's kind of small. It's too light, and so it doesn't handle a ton of power because it'll burn up. Because again, you want to balance that acoustic load with the air suspension and a bunch of other stuff. And it's one last thing, a little thought. You'll notice different companies rate their woofers different. If they're really accurate, what they'll do is they'll rate them by size, not just by the motor. Sundown switched to a motor only. Basically, they know that this motor is good for, say, like the ZV6, ZV5, ZV6. ZV5 they rated for 2K. The ZV6 they rate for 2.5K. And it actually handles more power. The subwoofer handles more power the bigger up you go. The problem that they're doing is 2 things. Number one, they recommend boxes that are too big, and so they don't handle as much power as they can. But they conservatively rate it. It's basically like a 4K, I would say about 3,500 4K motor, because it's limited to a 3-inch 8-layer. But it's very, very high BL. It's very, very powerful, and it's super, super heavy. But they conservatively rate it so that, you know, you say, oh, it's sundown power, just like you say it's Rockford power or whatever. It's the dumbest thing. But they'll rate, you know, the 10, 12, 15, 18 all at 2,500 watts, even though each one handles different under a different acoustic load. And so the reason why they do that, though, is because they're telling you to put them in a box that's too big for it. And that's a no-no. And then part of that is you don't really get much. It's barely like half a dB. It's not even worth it because as far as output, but the performance drop in the power handling is huge. So again, I don't know why they do that, and I would love to see the Klippel measurements of it in in the enclosure and also watch the BL curve when you're putting it in a enclosure that's too big like that. So, but people that pay for clipple time don't usually want to share that information because it's valuable. So, but anyways, oh, lastly, I found out I use the same coil as Nick Hutchinson in his Origin series, which is a former Kapton, K-A-P-T-O-N, which is a polyamide, they call it like reinforced plastic. It's just a high temperature plastic. JL uses them, and now Nick Hutchinson does, and so do I. And I use that in the Vato Extreme, which it's a 60 millimeter wine height, 2.5 inch. It's got a lot of great excursion. That's one of the reasons why I use a full 8-inch spider. Nick only uses like a 7.5 inch, which is good enough, but I like to, be full balls to the walls. And so that's how we get that 3-inch peak to peak on the Vato Extreme. But I wanted to share that, and then I think that was it. Oh, I wanted to do a head-to-head with Nick on his Origin, but like it's funny because the Origin woofer is Neo and it's all fancy, and it's actually $100 more than the Vato Extreme, but I wanted to look at the numbers and compare that. And then there was some other guy trolling me about the LMS Neo motor that I'm making, and he got mad that I called it an LMS, like a GONZO-fied LMS. And but I'll make a separate video on that, the LMS technology. Anyways, I love you guys. Talk to you later.